As I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then storming weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, non-reliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom. So, let's see how we're going to actually start your guys' day. We are here with Snort Burnell, Dspgaming, as well as Mr. Huffstuffs. Let's see, bots giving bits and preferential treatment from, I would assume, Twitch. So, let's go over that briefly. Okay, so under one of Phil's streams overnight, a bunch of randomly generated names, that's what it looks like, basically came in and just threw money at Phil. And you know, Phil is basically our resident stripper, so by all means, you know, he gonna shake it. And that's what he did. And so he was happy about that, but he was also mindful that this could be a scam, they could be bots, and he wouldn't hold his breath for the money that was given. But if you look at the combined total, it was quite a bit of money. So we'll see about that. And that right there, I don't know if it's related, but it also kind of ties into that situation with him on Twitter, losing all of those Twitter followers which turned out to be bots also. So someone or a group of people, if you will, are trying very, very hard to inflate Phil's numbers to make him look more appealing than what he really is. No surprise there. And preferential treatment, like I said, I would assume that's from Twitch, but I'm not quite sure. We've kind of gone over what my general thoughts are about Twitch, and as it pertains to why they keep Phil around, he's merely a shield to protect the big money makers. And when you have people like Destiny, when people like Shroud, who are getting temporarily banned for, you know, well, Destiny's, he kind of deserved that hit. Shroud recently was banned, but that was dumb. I mean, he's back on now, but that was kind of dumb why they banned him, because people do that shit all the time too, and it didn't hurt anybody. Well, in any case, Phil, you know, if big guys like that, people, you know, one of them is actually nominated for Streamer of the Year. If a nominee for Streamer of the Year can get banned and DSP doesn't, and DSP does and you know, Shroud didn't do anything wrong, literally, whereas DSP is constantly fucking up, it makes you wonder. And it also makes you wonder, how long can Twitch really sustain itself doing this? I mean, go ahead and keep protecting, you know, your cosplayers out here who tell people that they're not dating anybody or they're not married when they actually have husbands and whatnot when people look into it. Go ahead and protect these chicks who talk real shit about people who have mental problems and whatnot, and then when they get attacked, half the damn stream gets banned. They can keep doing that all they want, but it can't sustain itself. A lot like how Phil is in a lot of ways, and his current situation. But that's neither here nor there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the video. Should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG, Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. Damn, I look clean, don't I? Don't I look clean? It's time to watch me work.
Warning everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
You were, just so you know, because you keep tipping me $1, out of every $1, PayPal takes like 35-40 cents. So basically, even though you think you tipped me like 20-something dollars, you only tipped me like 10. When you do that with $1 tip, PayPal takes a ton of money. I just hope you know that. You realize you're throwing away a lot of money. Brain dead humans.
Now, in particular, the shoutouts today are going to be a little weird. Just to forewarn all you guys. You might say, why? What's going on?
Actually, with that being said, don't you have to actually purchase bits? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't they have like a system? Doesn't Twitch have like a system in place where you actually have to purchase bits? Because I remember, I think it was Swaggins actually spent like $470 something on bits, but DSP only received like $370 of that, $380, something along those lines. I know someone down below will remember that. I mean, it's all a racket for the most part. And keep in mind with bits, especially if you guys have been watching his streams lately. I'm recording this on the 19th, by the way, July 19th, 2018. He's been getting a lot of huge donations for bits, but he doesn't get that for 2 months. So how much are you guys really helping Phil, meaning Phil's fan base? How much are they really helping him if he doesn't see the money in 2 months? Whatever.
It appears, and there's no way to really confirm or deny this, but it appears that overnight, a bunch of bots came into the channel and cheered large amounts. Now, I don't control this. I know nothing about it. I certainly don't support bots like this. No, I have no idea how this happened, if it's some kind of underhanded trick. I have no idea. All right, I have no control over it. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, there's no way to prevent it or anything. You know, I don't know what it is. So I don't know if these cheers are legit or not. Okay, at all. It's just basically names I've never seen that seem like randomly generated names came in and cheered large amounts and left. And it's kind of like leaves me scratching my head. Is this legit? Is this someone who has been supportive of me behind the scenes and came in last night overnight out of nowhere and decided to be very supportive and cheer a bunch? Is this some kind of a farming operation? I have no idea. But I mean, full transparency, I'll talk about it publicly here because I don't know what's going on. All right. Here's what happened. These people came into the chat and cheered. If they are even people, they could be bots. And I don't know if these are legit or not. So if they are, this is great. If these are legit cheers, this is great. And it means that I got some extra support.
But it's not just that. He needs to address that publicly, because if that ends up falling back on him, he's screwed. A lot like how, I don't know if it was on last night's stream or the night before. So, like I said, I'm recording this on the 18th. I'm recording this on the 19th, I'm sorry. So I don't know if it was on the stream yesterday, which would have been the 18th, which I believe it was Tevin's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Tevin. I said happy birthday to him on Twitter. I was late about it. If his birthday wasn't on the 18th, it was on the 17th. Either which way, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Almighty Tevin. Praise be Almighty. Late birthday. You know me, I'm living up to my namesake. In any case, he had one of these streams, right? On one of his streams, he sat there and just like went off on the pig roach cult, and then he just started banning people left and right, left and right, left and right, and then had the nerve to say, "Oh, I must have gotten hacked. I didn't do it." But you know how Phil is when he bans people. He completely stops playing the game, completely turns and looks at the at his laptop, and then click, 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 click. Maybe if he did more of that click, 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 maybe Cat would be a little bit happier. In any case, that's what he was doing, and he was banning people left and right. Excuse me. And then had the nerve to turn around and say, "Oh, I must have been hacked or something. It wasn't me. I didn't do it." Jesus Christ, Phil. Jesus Christ.
This month, that's, very nice, and I'll say thank you here on the pre-stream, and I will read out their names in a moment. But if all this gets taken away because it's some kind of, farming scam and these are bots that aren't legit or whatever, I get, they didn't say anything negative. It's not like they all came in and they cheered and said nasty stuff about me or anything. It's just bizarre. I've never seen this happen ever. So I have no idea what this is. But anyway,
another thing, how is it that you've been on the internet this long and they didn't come in and say nasty things to me? Do you ever really hear Phil when he says that? When he's like, "Oh, why do people have to talk so terrible about me? And why do they always got to say these nasty, negative things about me instead of the third?" It's the internet. That's what people do. And you've been on there for a very long time. You yourself have participated in that. And now all of a sudden you're older and you don't want it to happen no more? All of a sudden it's not fun anymore? Grow up. Seriously, just grow up.
To what seems to be a bunch of bots, okay? We had Little Cup Eater 119, who did a 2,725-bit cheer. One Little Runner Maker 955, who did a 3,705-bit cheer. One Small Room Builder 472, who did a 4,340-bit cheer. One Fast Yellow Icecaster 250, who did nearly a 4,000-bit cheer. See what I mean? These are, like, bizarre. These are very freaking weird, right? Let's keep going. Small Cup 483 did a 4,206-bit cheer. Dalil Green Runner Eater 499 did a 3,540-bit cheer. Purple Tape Records did a 2,685-bit cheer. And then CM Punk Username did a 2,430-bit cheer. Pretty weird, right? Now, all in all, by the way, I should bring this up. All these cheers came in within a 5-minute period. 5 minutes. All these cheers come in from random accounts I've never seen, never saw these guys in the stream chat before, you know. Don't know if they're legit people or not. Who knows, right?
I want you to watch what I do on a daily basis. You're part of a cult or a mob or this weird group of people who blindly now have to support everything I do, and it's part of your duty to daily come out. Oh, I have to do, you know, every single day I have to support Phil, and the day that I don't support Phil is a day that I failed because I was part of this, the bro army or whatever, and now I wasn't there for Phil. That shit is, in my opinion, that shit's sick. What that is, that's a streamer or a YouTuber who's literally creating a brainwashing style mentality to try to get more money. That's what that is.
And you don't think that applies to you? Yet again, that's another, this is another moment of self-reflection on Phil's part. That's exactly what the pig cult is. If they're not giving him money, if they're not trying to convince other people to give them money, if they're not just going through other people to give him money, they're sitting there flagging videos, they're sitting there thumbing down videos, they're sitting there trying to flag down channels. Allegedly, someone's going around hacking on Phil's behalf now. You know what I'm saying? Starting shit, which ended up turning into a small internet war with another website. I mean, this is what Phil does. This is what the Lord of Gout does. You know what I mean? This is what his forte is. And this is what Goutopia has, that's their call to arms. What did he expect? This is what he propagated. So he's right. It is very sick, brain dead, almost cultish-like behavior. But that's you. That's your fan base, not as a whole, but that's your fan base for the most part. Most of them. More than enough, there's more than enough people who participate in stuff like that to certainly be a cause for alarm. At least one would think. DSP News.
That's like me, right? That's like me. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. That was my depression. These cult mentality people, I'm pretty sure we all knew that it was about some kind of a fanatical cult.
Now, if you actually add it all up, I believe it was something like, I want to say basically around like 250,000 bits or something like that. All right, which obviously, if it's real, if it's legit, that's awesome. And I want to say thank you to whoever this was. If it's one person, if it is a group of people who over the months have been watching my content and wanted to come in and support me overnight, and you did a collective action to help me, that's great. And thank you very, 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 very much. But admittedly, when you look at...
Admittedly what? I mean, first off, if it is one person who's who's doing all that under multiple personas, why would you do that? You're better off doing all that under one name, and you're going to take shit for it regardless. But at least you would be a contender. You'd be in the race with Swaggins and Golden Colts, and I can't remember what that other guy's name is. But at least you would hold some ground with them, or at least you'd be starting the race instead of splitting it all up like that. And if you've ever seen some of Phil's streams, especially recently, people who give big money do get shitted on quite a bit. Actually, I think one guy was doxxed recently. I think he gave Phil like $500 or something. He might have given Phil a little bit more than that. I can't remember, but he ended up getting doxxed on that one. So, I mean, people say he had it coming because he wanted the attention, but there you go. It's just an example. I don't condone that. I don't think most people do, but it is what it is. But then again, he was part of Phil's forums too, and we all know how, we all know how that situation went. If not, my next news story, let me check. Yes, my next news story will cover that specifically to a further length.
Something like this, you scratch your head, you're like, now this seems kind of suspect, right? It seems kind of suspect that maybe this isn't legit, right? And it's hilarious because I see some people in the street, really, you should refund those bits. You can't. There's no way you could refund bits. The whole system's through Twitch. It's Twitch's system. So Twitch needs to, if Twitch really thinks this is illegitimate or whatever, they would need to investigate on their own, figure that out, and then notify me and say, Phil, we figured out these were bots or whatever, and this is some kind of gaming system, and therefore, you know, we're taking back those bits. I'll be honest with you guys, I wouldn't mind that at all.
That's 100% a lie. I'm good at lying. No idea what's going on, and there you go. Okay? I mean, obviously, I would love if this was legit. It would be great. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. Holy fucking shit. Relax. Some people just can't control themselves.
John Cook did a 70-bit cheer. He says, Phil, you've been on the internet for 10 years. I have a pretty good question. Do you feel the impact of the internet has been positive or negative overall? Well, here's the thing. There's positives and negatives. I mean, look at the positives in my life, right? I got to focus on the positives. I live in a nice house, in a nice community, in an outskirt of Seattle, Washington, where everything that I want is at my fingertips. All of the shopping and things that I ever need to do in my life are right down the street, right? I have a good living.
Based off of begging. I love begging. I beg all the time. I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life. Phil's just one of the worst e-beggars. Disgusting beggar.
It's not like certainly I'm not gonna lie, I'm not destitute on the street. You know what I mean? I'm in a decent position in my life. However, there's negatives too. I'm constantly harassed. I'm constantly attacked on every front. Financially, I'm not doing good. Financially, things are super tight and not good. So, there's positives and negatives to everything, right? What I would say is if I had never had an internet presence, I have no idea what I would be in life. Because if you guys remember, it was 2010, when after 5 years of busting my ass at this office job and getting commendations of going above and beyond and being a great worker, they laid me off out of nowhere. And at that time, there were no jobs in Connecticut in that job sector. In fact, I hate to say it, there are still no jobs in that job sector. All right? They just don't exist. In Connecticut anyway. So I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have went into financial ruin, not having a job to pay my bills or keep my mortgage, and things would have been way worse off if I had never been able to jump into YouTube. At the same time, yeah, being a YouTuber...
That can't be necessarily true, to be honest. Is the job sector probably, at least for his alleged background, is it probably pretty bad? Sure. I'm sure it is. But at the same time, though, too, really what it comes down to is he would have to start over. He would have to start over, entry level, somewhere else, from the bottom, and try to work his way back up. And he doesn't have daddy to help him out like he did at the helicopter company. He's really going to have to work off of his own merit and really build himself up. And Phil, if I had to be perfectly honest with you, he's never going to take a job for less money and try to work his way up. He can't do that. He just can't. Even with YouTube in the shitter. Let's say he's still not doing Twitch. Let's say he loses Twitch and it's still YouTube. He's still making $50,000, $60,000 a year, something along those lines. You really see him taking a job where he has to start off at $30,000? No. Not even close. He doesn't have it in him. YouTube was a gamble, but it was an easy solution. Because when he got fired, okay, he had his retirement fund, or he had, whatever it was that daddy set up for him and whatnot. He cashed that out. He probably left on a severance package of some type, because he was there for like 5 years or something along those lines. Or 4 or 5 years, something like that. So he had that. Then mom and dad was probably helping him with finances too. I don't know if he was collecting unemployment. It depends on, what he got fired for. So he had people around him who were resources for him when that happened. You know what I mean? It's just it's unthinkable. It's unthinkable, really, that he didn't have any other options. He had plenty of options outside of YouTube. YouTube was easy, and it was there, to be honest. And if you saw Mighty D's video, for example, on like what happened to him, when he talked about losing his job and whatnot, he said that he would try to make YouTube a viable option. But at the same time, he was looking at keeping his options open. He stuck with YouTube because he had a following, and he gained himself a little bit of success. And then he screwed himself over with the whole abusing the click system for ads. Ran over the blip. We all know what happened there. Then he had to come back, beg Hutch for a fucking job so he could get into Machinima, and then somehow got into Machinima's management program, and then there you go. He had options. He was just too lazy. He wasn't willing to work for it.
Has done irrevocable damage to myself, my reputation. If I ever try to seek a job outside of being an internet content creator, I have no idea if I would ever get hired because of the incredible amount of defamatory and slanderous statements made about me on the internet that are completely untrue. I just, I don't know.
Did you not masturbate on stream? Did you not say racist and also homophobic slurs? Excuse me. Have you not overall just been a piece of shit online? I'm sorry. Where's the defamatory? Where's the slander? You know what I mean? Where is it? Where's all the lies? It's all there in black and white. And like I said, what hurts Phil more than even the detractors is himself. He has so much content on his own out there, showing a lot of his, just despicable behavior. He screwed himself over. That's really what it was. And I had made a mistake a couple of videos back, and someone pointed that out to me on Twitter. Thank you very much for that. Where I had, it was it OP seats, and then it was spawn seats. And I had said one of them was basically a Ponzi, was illegitimate, and then the other one was legit. I can't remember which one. I think I said that OP seats was the legit. Well, no, I'm sorry. I said spawn seats was the legitimate one, and it wasn't. And OP seats actually was the legitimate company. That's the one who that Good Samaritan on Twitter ended up telling him, hey, you might want to look further into this individual, and then they dropped him. I think that was OP seats. Spawn seats is the one that came later, that come to find out they had as many skeletons in their closet, or almost as many, as Phil did. So my bad on that mistake. I can't remember if it was vice versa, but for any of you guys who have been following me for a long period of time, you guys know I went over that story. My bad on that. The point is I wanted to address that because I messed that up. But think about that situation. When they actually, Phil will only slide through the cracks for so long, and eventually someone will catch him. And that situation right there was just the example. The person who ended up bringing him to light to that company, if he didn't do it, someone else would have. It only been a matter of time. So it is what it is. It does require companies to do a little bit more due diligence when they decide to sponsor people. And if you make your living online, you're already exposed. You know what I mean? Especially when you put yourself out there and you play as hard as Phil has for as many years as he has. His whole life is the internet. And it's an open book to everybody. It's just some of us have read deeper than others. DSP News.
With my future. Phil, do you have retirement? Dude, I can't even pay my fucking taxes. Of course I don't have retirement money, Like, this is because some of the ridiculous things that I hear brought up. And, it sucks. But its reality is that I love my job, but doing it has put me into a bad position in a lot of ways, and I gotta find a way out, So, for me, the best course of action is to bust my ass every day, stay positive, and have fun with what I do, because you guys have been so supportive on the streams that maybe I can get out of this hole that I'm in.
Your ass doing what exactly? For example, you have this Silent Hill situation. Silent Hill 2, I think, is what he's playing currently. He's bitching and complaining about how he's mad at his own fan base. Keep in mind, the people who give him money, the people who support him on YouTube and on Twitch and on Patreon. He got mad at them the other night, calling them assholes because they asked him to play the game on hard because they wanted to see him challenge himself. Now, keep in mind, this is Mr. At any given time, I can pick up a controller and play a game at a high level. That's him. That's this guy right here. Remember, Mr. I'm one of the best pure gamers in the United States. That's him. And he's sitting here getting mad saying that, oh, you guys did this to be assholes and now the game's not going to be fun. It would have been a fun playthrough if you guys let me just play it on normal and whatnot. Probably he would rather have played it on easy if it even has easy. But you guys wanted me to play it on hard so you guys can see me get mad and rage and be frustrated. You guys are assholes. And then he wonders why the sub count drops. He wonders why viewership drops. He keeps talking his bullshit about, oh, my viewership and everything on Twitch is up. It may not be, but then the begging has ramped up, just like I told you it would. So how is he busting his ass? When people are recommending games for this Rageathon and he doesn't want to play them. He wants to play games he wants to play, which isn't working. So how's he busting his ass? When he's sitting there banning everybody left and right because, oh, they're coming in here saying negative shit. When really all it is people who are giving him some criticism. But the criticism isn't worded nicely enough to where it's palatable for him. So then he bans them outright. So tell me how the hell is he busting his ass every day? Doing nothing. He's not extending his streaming times. He isn't actually trying to focus on YouTube, which he needs now more than ever. He isn't bettering his perks on Patreon. How you busting your ass, Phil?
Okay? So,
Give me your money. Oh, let the money roll in. Let the green roll in.
let's see moving forward. But that's the thing. Has there been overall positive or negative impact? I mean, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it's overall positive. Even with all the negative shit, the fact that I'm in financial debt, up to my eyeballs, the fact that I got people who regularly are just tearing me a new asshole and saying I'm a horrible person or whatever. I still feel that I'm in a better position now than if I had never done content for the internet. Really. I don't think that I would have gotten ahead anywhere in the last 10 years of my life if I had stayed in an office job. I just don't think it would have worked out. I think that this was naturally kind of a lucky thing that I fell into, but it ended up, making my life a lot better. I mean, what other job am I going to get the kind of crazy positivity and interaction from you guys on a daily basis, right? And I'm not.
I'm good at commentary.
All right, so let's think about this for a minute. Let's be logical for just a second. This man is the laughingstock of the internet. He is the toilet of the gaming community. He is probably one of the worst individuals to land on YouTube, for sure. You know what I mean? There. Don't get me wrong. There's some other people too that are still above Dave, but for the most part, Dave is definitely still in the running. He says he's harassed and hounded by people who lie about him day in, day out, who take his work of art, because he started that dumb shit again, because he's mad about Nintendo. He started that dumb shit again. They take his work of art and twist it to their own means, making him seem like a bad person, a lazy gamer, someone who doesn't appreciate what he has, this, that, and the third. All the following is true. He's someone who says that his whole life has been exposed. He's lost relationships. He's lost friendships, this, that, and the third, with people that he loves and cares about because of detractors. Okay? That's also something that he stated recently. Think about all the things that Dave goes through on a daily basis. Now, let's think about what life would have been like if he got up every morning at between 5 and 7, like normal people and whatnot, go to work, put in between 8 to 10 hours, some people 12, come home, have a sensible dinner and whatnot, not have 3, 4, 5 Taco Bell bags while talking about the only thing I'm going to have is these Taco Bell fries and maybe a couple of tacos, when he has like 4 big ass bags of Taco Bell still on the table and they all look full. Shouts out to Memology 101 pointing that one out. But people would point that out also. Think about what life could have been for Dave if he was just a normal person. If he would have just worked for a living. And then came home and maybe streamed for a couple hours. Like Tevin does. Like James the Lesser Express Lane does. I don't stream, but I come home and make videos. Like the Jackal's Lair does, like Volt Boy does, like any detractor does, who actually goes out and works and then comes home. Nobody here is making a living off doing this. We all have jobs. We all have careers. Dave turned his life and made his life and his career YouTube and now Twitch. That's his fault. But you're still, I would still rather keep, I would still rather be in the position that I'm in now and be happy than ever live a day in Phil's life. I don't care how much he makes. I don't care if he's making, over six figures. Well, he's making. Well, I'd say going back to like his earlier days when he was making like high six figures, I still wouldn't trade that. It's not worth it. It's just not. Being Dave, balding, all that snorting and belching, shitting on people who give a damn about you day in, day out. I don't need all that. It's not, the detractors don't even bother me. It's the fact that I shit on the very people that I depend on. Where's your pride at? You're going to beg for money, first off, not do anything to try to help yourself out. Then you're going to shit on those people and then turn back around the next day and say, I really need your guys' support? I can't live like that. I don't know too many people that can. But I can't live like that.
I know I would be good at commentary.
Do you want to play the fucking game? Okay, shout out to Toxic Toilet Juice, who says, you can't, well, he cheered first of all, which I should say. He says, you can't fully blame YouTube. You made decisions that led to the decline in viewership and subs for your channel over the years. No hate, just being honest. Toxic Toilet Juice, that is literally not what I'm talking about, and you're not the only person who said this. Last night on Twitter, what I did is I posted up two graphs. I posted up my view graph, and I posted up the ad revenue graph. Literally side by side, coinciding each day, and what it showed is that in the last 10 days of July, my views have jumped. A big amount, too. It's not just like a little amount. They went up by like 25, 30%. A big jump in viewership. YouTube ad revenue every single day has gone down. So even though I'm getting more views and more people are watching my videos, I'm making less money because YouTube isn't selling ad space.
You're still working off of an old system, though. He's still thinking, he still tries to apply everything to view-based, to the view-based system that he had before Machinima threw him on ad-based. I don't know why that shit doesn't compute for him, but that's really what it is. It's somebody who's still living in the past, chasing all that big, easy money that he once had and whatnot that he doesn't have anymore. And he can't let it go. He just can't let it go. He still believes in the goudness of his heart that one day he can get back to making the money that he did. He doesn't even care about the fame or the love and respect and all that bullshit. He just wants the money back. And he can't get it. And he knows he can't get it. But he still has that delusion that, it can happen. If YouTube would just step up and sell their ad space, they could get it. But it's funny how I watch other people who have ads on their videos and they have great ads. Phil's the one with the shitty ones. And why would Phil get shitty ads? Because his viewership is garbage. Because he has no engagement on his videos. You know what I'm saying? If you monetize your videos, they would usually put you higher in the recommendations, right? Okay? Well, because his comments and the likes and dislikes at times are disabled, it hinders that growth. And then for a while, he had recommended channels turned off, which also screwed him over. So it's just like what that guy said. He did a lot of things to screw himself up. And yet again, it's not my fault. I did that stuff to protect me and whatnot. I didn't know. That's not my fault. It's YouTube's fault. Because they changed everything around and that screwed me over. We're 36 years old and we still can't take not even an iota of responsibility for our own fuck-ups, for our own mistakes. Okay.
Views. I don't want to be Mr. Views. Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah.
That's all I'm saying. If YouTube still did a good job of what they used to do, if they hadn't lost the good faith of advertisers through automation and putting advertisements on videos of terrorists and racist videos and, very polarizing political videos, things that advertisers don't want their shit on, if instead they actually put effort into it instead of automatic algorithms and actually fucking did work and realized that they needed to target correctly where ads went if they wanted to operate a business, we wouldn't be in this situation at all. We'd be good. We'd be good off, and we'd be back. We'd still.
That's still not true because he wouldn't get any of those ads anyway. Think about this: for someone who was in the Machinima system, right? He was in the Machinima partner system. He wasn't even getting the exclusive premiere ads that were going to people like KSI, the Logan brothers, PewDiePie. He never reached those plateaus, and he wasn't even getting, if what word around the campfire is true, he wasn't even getting some of the best ads on Machinima. He's been in decline for years. Okay? Let's take the detractors out of the situation and fall into his little blame game. He's been in the decline for years. So if you're in a decline consistently, despite his little his buzzes of growth here or there, but when you're on a steady decline, they don't have to give you the best ads. They don't have to, they can just give you what they give you and you make do with it. Because he wasn't willing to adapt, he wasn't willing to change. So how dare you want to get the same money as a Markiplier and you don't even want to put the type of work that he puts in. And we're not talking about just production, because keep in mind, his production blows Phil out of the water. Just the general effort in general. And that's what Phil never understood. And yet he's convincing these kids the exact same shit. Do next to nothing and expect to get big money as someone who actually puts in real time, if not puts in more than that. This is what he propagates. DSP News.
Tons of money on the advertisements on YouTube. The problem is they haven't done that. They got lazy. It's too big for us to control. Instead of actually actively working to find solutions, they just wrote robot code that didn't work right, and it screwed us all over. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Absolutely, over the years, my YouTube channels have declined. No one's disputing that. It's in black and white. You can't say, oh, Dspgaming today has the same viewership as, 5 years ago. Fuck no. There's no way I can say that. I mean, actively in the last year, I actively made decisions to focus on Twitch rather than YouTube, all right, in order to try to save this business. Because I knew if I was focused on YouTube, it was still going to keep falling out. But what you're saying is literally besides the point. Yeah, my views went down. Yeah, subs are overall down. Who cares? That's not the point. The point is when my views go up, I still make less money because YouTube doesn't know what the hell they're doing. That's the point I'm making. You are literally bringing up something negative about the channel that has nothing to do with the subject matter to try to pin the blame on me like it's my fault YouTube doesn't sell ad space in the summer. No, it's not.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. It is YouTube's fault. I make mistakes. I'm a fallible human. But most of the things that happened to me, I didn't do anything wrong. What did I do wrong? Nothing. Zero. For something I didn't do wrong. I did nothing wrong.
And you can't...
If that's the case, then when have you taken responsibility for the things that you did do wrong? When did those situations happen? I didn't think so. But I'll wait, though. I'll wait.
Well, you should just have such an incredibly exorbitant amount of views on your channel that you're immune to when ad revenue goes down. That's fucking stupidity. That is completely... That's blaming someone who literally doesn't control the situation for the wrongdoing and the ineptitude of YouTube. You're basically a YouTube apologist if that's how you feel. Oh, well, people should just make so many views that it doesn't matter if ad revenue goes up or down. You're a YouTube apologist. Congratulations. You literally are, kind of their lapdog, and you've fallen right into the trap of blaming people who used to have a business model that worked.
What?
It doesn't work anymore because of that, all right? So...
No, your business model doesn't work because you didn't change it. You didn't change it, you didn't tweak it. And when you finally did, it was too late. Even with Twitch now, I said this in a previous video, he's still behind the 8 ball. He's so far behind, he can't really catch up. Not unless he scraps everything and kind of starts over. Like, he would really have to start over. And he's not willing to do it. And you got a channel that has such a negative stigma attached to it, to all of his channels really, that he can't get any headway. When the people who do videos on you eclipse yours, there's a problem. Actually, let's go a little further than that. When in a single playthrough that he does, I mean a single playthrough of a game that has, 200 to 400 parts, when someone can make one video about you that's 7 to 10 minutes long and it eclipses the views of all of those videos in that playthrough combined, you have a problem. You have a very big problem. And he won't address it. And trust me, he knows it. He knows it. But yet he won't address it. Maybe because he can't address it.
Please. You gotta understand that when I say stuff, I say it for a reason. I have a point. And when you come at me with things that literally are not the point whatsoever, it's just you're wasting your time. The point here is not to say, oh, well, Phil, your channel went down. you know, views wise, and therefore that's why things are bad. I mean, admittedly, yeah, the channel went down. We all know that. I've actually talked about it and said I did it on purpose so I could focus on Twitch, so I could grow my Twitch. I mean, this is all public knowledge. You're literally just bringing something up that has
Then that's your own fault. And I told you that from the beginning. I told you, focus on YouTube as much as you're focusing on Twitch. Because guess what? Twitch is not that demanding. If he had stayed focused equally on YouTube as he did on Twitch, his Patreon would be straight. Matter of fact, he could probably have increased his Patreon to 1,500, maybe 17,500, maybe, but at least 1,500, and he might have had very little pushback on it, maybe. But see, he wanted to go all in, all of those rotten eggs in one basket, and didn't want to listen, and said, hey, I understand that you guys over there on YouTube can't necessarily come here. You can just wait for the videos on demand if you want, but this is my priority. He's essentially like that same dude from, I can't think of his name now, where he, remember when the Xbox One came out, and people were saying, and you know, you had to be linked to the internet at all times, and so on and so forth, and you had to get that one update every 24 hours, this, that, and the third. And when people who had concerns, like, hey, I have, you know, family members that are overseas or in the military and stuff like this, or maybe I live out in the boonies or whatever the case may be, and the internet's not very good. What can they do to still have this experience? Like, what would Microsoft do to help them out on this level? And he was like, oh, well, we already have a product out there on the market for them, the 360. You know what I mean? Like, he completely said, well, fuck you. If you don't have good internet, you can just go ahead and take the outdated product that we're about to discontinue soon. You can do that. Phil did the exact same thing with YouTube. He did the exact same thing. Only, just as I said, only to run his ass right back to it and be like, please guys, I really need your support over here. You know, it's really important, because he had sat there and played his cards a little too close to his chest, got a little too greedy over there with all those fundraisers and sub fundraisers and all that bullshit, and he screwed himself up. And Twitch was like, nope, no more of that, because it's starting to draw negative attention. And we got thoughts over here that need to get they fundraising money up too. So nah, bad boy, bad pig. Yet again, Phil he doesn't think in the long term, and when he has, I don't know if I'd say it was a good thing, but when he has an opportunity, instead of approaching it with moderation, he has to go all in with it, and it screwed him up. And now he calls all those fundraisers, those charity events, now he calls them special events. Like he's fooling anybody. And now he has to actually put more work into it than he would have if, oh, poor me, please give me money. When it was that poor me, please give me money, he was really getting bread. But now that he actually has to work for it, it just comes across as lazy and disingenuous, and now no one gives a shit. Just saying.
Thing to do with the fact that YouTube is not selling ad space properly or doing their job to try to make it look like it's my fault or another content creator's fault, and that's not even the subject matter. So, please, before you say silly shit, please think about what you're saying, alright?
All you're getting is salt. It's, even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor. All I can taste is the saltiness.
YOLO Dopper cheered, he says, all the crazy and zany stuff happens to you even though you're not even seeking it out, your life is crazy. And it's true. All I want to do is I want to sit here and play games, have fun with you guys on a stream every day, and then I want to have a good life with my girl outside of that. That's really all I ask of life. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I don't want to be popular. I don't want to be a fucking celebrity. I don't want to be rolling in money. I just want to have a respectable life.
Give me your money. Money
So if you want that, then go work for it. And that's really, I can't speak for every detractor, but the underlying situation is that. Then work for it. If he wants to just carve himself a nice little life out with Cat, which is the exact same damn thing he said with Panda, then go to work for it. It's funny how the women in that house have to always do the cooking, have to do all the cleaning, and have to go to work. And Phil doesn't have to do it. It's funny how he wants all of these things for himself, and whatever soulmate or girlfriend that's there is really there to pick up the pieces. It's funny how that happens. You know what I mean? Because what real work is he putting in? Like I said, is he too good for a part-time job? I mean, really, is he too good for a part-time job to bring a little bit of money in to save, as he's worded it, his house? Not him and Kat's house, His house. Not him and Panda's house. His house. What is it? You telling me that he doesn't have enough time? He doesn't have enough time on his hands to maybe go and do some research in his field, and maybe try to update himself on what's been going on over the past 10 years? No. He wants a bunch of you guys to do it. He wants you kids to go ahead and pay him. You know what I'm saying? For all of the work that he's provided you guys over 10 years. Like that means a damn to anybody. That's what he wants. What he basically wants is a good life on the backs of other people. You know what I mean? If not John and Howard, then Panda. If not Panda, then it'll be Cat and the rest of these kids. Until he can't do it anymore, and then he'll just find someone else to replace all of them, as he's known for doing. But when is he going to break his back and do something? Just saying. Even strippers are motivated. DSP news.
Tentacles. I need that money to pay my bills. Quick buck. Minimum effort, minimum money and time involved, maximum profit. And they're doing this streaming, and they suck at games. They're not gaming because they're good. They're gaming because they just money comes in for it. And they're doing this constantly. We need more money. We need more money. That's what this stream is about. You know, the entire stream ends up being bullshit. You know, promotion, money. Hey, money is money. One thing I think about, money is money. Yeah, I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life. I want...
And that right there proves it. That's what he's resided himself to. And he's okay with it. He's okay with it. Instead of trying to further his alleged degree, you know what I mean? Instead of going out and getting a part-time job, something. Instead of him going into that nook or whatever they call it and dig out whatever junk that he has in there just to get it out of there, just to donate that shit or whatever, and maybe sell off some of those old consoles, some of those old arcade sticks he ain't doing shit with. People can mod those. It's actually rather easy. Some of those old consoles, some of those old video games that he doesn't even remember having. Instead of him actually selling off some of that bullshit, he would rather it sit in there, collect dust because it's his and he wants it. And that right there is a reminder of his glory days. Same thing with that bullshit art gallery he has in the hallways there after Panda left. When Panda bounced, he needed something to remind him of when he was still on top. Not necessarily on top of her, but when he was on top in some way, shape, or form. And that's why he put all that up. He needed it as a reminder that, oh, well, she was just an aspect of my life. That's a part that I don't need to worry about anymore. Look at all this. This is what happened when I was the man, or when people liked me, or when people really gave a shit about me. Oh, I don't need her. You know what I'm saying? I have this. This will remind me every day that I used to be somebody. Think about it when he does shit like that. His penis.
More money on top of the money that I already made. The money is mine, and I want the money. I need to raise a lot of money this month. Give their money, give their money. By the way, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation. So, hint, hint, save the house. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
And, you know, be happy. That's all I ask. And yet, people actively come after me with nasty shit. You know, crazy shit happens to me regularly that I have nothing to do with. Just Gamer John just cheered. And he said, do you and Twitch have a great relationship where you get endorsed with cool things, products, or anything? You seem like you have a great relationship with Twitch.
Twitch loves me and my streams.
No, nothing like that. Basically, if you are in the partner program, all right, and if you're in good standing with Twitch, meaning you don't have any kind of strikes or anything against you, which I
Yeah, let's go ahead and cut in right there before he goes into his narrative. He doesn't have any of that happen to him anymore. He was on 2 of those Twitch like promotional situations, which was interesting too because there's no snorting, no belching, none of that extra nonsense during those events. And then he was supposed to be part of excuse me, he was supposed to be part of a of some type of new program or system that was supposed to help with like bullying on the website. And then he got kicked in and he doesn't participate in that either. He was basically going to be a guinea pig. He was going to be a case study on the negativity that other streamers deal with on Twitch. I remember watching someone sent me a video that said that it was titled like Twitch is going to end soon, or Twitch is going under, or whatever the case may be. And there was a lot of aspects in that video that were super important. But one of the things that stuck out to me is when TwitchCon happened, they had pulled some of these big streamers aside. Some of them are actually rather notable. And they were asking them, hey, tell us a little bit about the pressure of streaming. And almost each and every one of them said that the psychological toll was the hardest part. It wasn't like setting up the stream and everything was rather difficult, but it wasn't that. It was really more of the psychological aspect of it. People kind of beating down on you day in, day out. Whether it was positive or negative. It was an interesting bit. It was only like 5 minutes long. But it was an interesting aspect that really kind of made me think that, you know, for Twitch streamers who actually stream for like 10 to 12 hours, Dave doesn't do that. That actually stream for 10 to 12 hours every day. That shit is tedious. And we're talking about the bigger guys though. We're talking about people who have over 30, 40, 50,000 subs. You know what I mean? Or subscribers to their Twitch channels. Not Phil, who can barely hold, 500. I think he's currently at like 407, 408 at the current when I'm recording this. So, just something to think about. But in any case, he got kicked out of all of that when he had those 2 strikes on him, and he still has both of those strikes. You know what I mean? Those strikes don't go away. I think it's just kind of like YouTube, where it's either like 30 days. No, maybe it's like 90 days until they come off. Something like that. I'll have to look into that further. But those strikes are still there, and once they're gone, then he'll be in better shape, so to speak. But we'll see. Look at it. Catch a channel called Twitch Reloaded. I'm actually subscribed to that channel. It's a good channel, and he actually goes over that like weekly. So something to keep in mind.
I should bring that up. I don't have any strikes or anything against me. I'm good standing right now.
What?
Can't stop lying for a second.
What? What? And all of a sudden, a message pops up and appears in my stream chat. This account has been suspended from Twitch. My Twitch account, DarkSidePhil, is suspended for 72 hours. I slip up, and I screw up again.
You get in on certain opportunities. For example, you get invited to do the bounties program, where you're able to promote certain games. You play a game for like an hour. You make a certain amount of money for playing a game for an hour under this bounties program. I've never taken advantage of that. Oh, excuse me. I've never taken advantage of that because it's just not stuff I'm interested in, or it's stuff I can't even play. And I won't go into details about it because I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you what games were made available as part of the bounties program, but basically it's never been anything that I've been able to take advantage of. So for me, it's kind of like, meh. Now, there are other opportunities that pop up too. Like I said, last year, we were given an opportunity to try to...
The reason why he can't take advantage of the bounty system, though, is because it's on PC. And this idiot decided to go out of his way and actually contact whoever his contact is at Twitch and be like, oh, it's unfair that this bounty system, that people on PC only can take advantage of the bounty system. What about people on console? We deserve an opportunity at it also. And he thought because he has a partnered account, he thought they were really going to look at it and be like, you know what? Yeah, DSP is right. We should do that. And they didn't. They were like, we'll get to you when we get to you. Until then, this is what we're trying to promote. Because if I had to guess, as it pertains to their bounty system and the games that are being pushed or whatnot in that system, I would assume the publishers and the actual game companies behind it are the ones who are funding it. And they're not really looking at console right now. They're looking at PC. Which could be a telling fact of how gaming is going to look like moving forward. That maybe consoles might die out, in another 15, 20 years, maybe. That's looking downrange. You know what I mean? They have these kind of like, they're not off-brand, but the Alienware consoles, for example. I don't even know if anybody owns those things. Maybe Rich does. He always buys silly shit like that. But you could actually customize that and actually mod it as if you were going to mod your tower. I mean, eventually consoles will get to that point too, and then after a while, that might just get phased out, and whatnot, or just certainly become secondary, and just everybody will move to PC. We'll see.
Part of an interactive deal. If you remember, I did the interactive extension demo at TwitchCon last year. I streamed Choice Chamber, and streamed it for a couple, what was it, 2-3 hours I played it, and made some decent money doing it, because I advertised this interactive thing at TwitchCon, and people really liked it. I got positive feedback. I was told people liked it. It was good. So, you know, these opportunities, you know, come up from time to time. And, you know, when I can take advantage of them, I do. Sadly, this whole bounties one that came up, I couldn't take advantage of. It's nothing that I can really do. But, yeah, I mean, Twitch does hold me in a positive light. Like I said, I have no negative things associated with myself or my account.
Fuck that, Phil. You are a dirty, rotten liar. Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
Yes, obviously, you guys see the amount of people watching my streams, the people participating, so obviously, you know, there's some profit being made off of things like subs and the like, right? So yeah, I would think that I'm in a positive light when it comes to the guys at Twitch. But personally,
And that's a good point. The money that he does bring in would also put him at least in a particular gray area where, yet again, they could overlook some of his nonsense. But when that stuff starts to dry up, then what? Because yet again, if you look at everything from on the much larger scale, and you look at what he brings in compared to other streamers, they demolish Phil. What Phil brings in a week, some of these bigger streamers bring that in a couple hours. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Phil can't compare. He really can't. And if you follow anybody on Twitter and you see that, like, all the different basically complaints that are levied against DSP as well as others on Twitter, it'd make your head spin. And there's so much shit to call Phil out on, and it makes you wonder why Twitch won't respond. But then again, Twitch is a business, and I think people need to still continue to take that into consideration. And sometimes you got to eat shit in business. Phil just happens to be that shit.
again, are they singling me out personally and saying, wow, Phil's great, and let's hand him opportunities? No, that's not happening. I'm not getting, like, hand-fed opportunities. All right, I'll take this back. There was one situation where, what was it, a month or two ago? I was playing the Crew 2 beta, and as I was playing it, Twitch saw that I was playing it, jumped on my stream and said, oh, look, this is a partnered streamer. Let's offer him some codes. So they did. They gave me some beta codes, and I handed those out live on stream. So that was literally, okay, he's part of the partner program. He's playing a game that we have codes for. Let's just give him some codes for his viewers. And I did that. But outside of that, you know, no, it's not like behind the scenes they're offering me all these opportunities and everything. No, none of that. Lipjan cheered. He said there have been a lot of female streamers exposed as Twitch. I don't even know what this word means. All right. Now, I don't know if this is an offensive word or not. What does the word THOT mean and stand for? I have no idea. I really don't. I think I know it's a negative word towards women, which is why I don't even want to say it. But I don't even know what it means. Oh, okay, it means slut. Got it. It means a girl is slutty. Okay, now I understand what the word means. Thank you. So basically, Lipjan says a lot of female streamers have been exposed as that lately. What is your opinion on this? As long as men are weak, as long as men have raging hormones that they cannot control with their own logic, you will have women exploiting them.
I have no fucking self-control.
Right? Now, really, the judgment here is not whether or not it's going to exist, because it always is. The judgment here is a moral judgment on who's in the wrong. Is it the woman who exploits the man? Is it the man who stupidly gets led along like a little puppy dog, thinking that eventually the attention he gets from this woman, even though it's only over the internet or whatever, is actually worth him putting his hard-earned money towards it? You know what I mean? Like, these things have existed forever. It's just that now, with the era of the internet, you can do it virtually, and you don't have any risk of any physical altercation happening, right? So, you know, for me, it's a non-issue.
It could be a dry diss to, like I said, some of those Twitch thoughts I've been talking about lately. Let me give you a really good example. I think her name is Amarin, or something along those lines. She's a cosplayer. If you watch James the Lesser Express Lane, which I recommend you do so, I think he's had her in his videos a couple times. I know I haven't, because I'm not really a fan of her for some obvious reasons. But, not really obvious reasons. She's just kind of a bitch. But anyway, in any case, she was caught up in a situation where people found out she had a husband and no one knew. Now, let's talk a little bit about what kind of money this chick brings in. Okay, like, can't give you direct figures off the top of my head, but her Patreon is bringing in somewhere along the lines of like between like 40 and 60,000 a month. Okay, that's just Patreon. Then when you get on Twitch, you had people who were giving her, one individual just a couple of weeks ago gave her like $35,000 on a single stream. She's used to getting, you know, thousands of dollars from people, hundreds of dollars from people daily. She pulls in ridiculous money. You know what I mean? Easily she pulling in ridiculous money off Twitch, off Patreon, and she does and she has a YouTube channel. She's making crazy bread. And she had all these guys strung along believing that she was single and she wasn't. She was married. She'd been married for a while and whatnot. And a lot of people knew about it. It's just no one wanted to make it public, whatever. She didn't come up on nobody's radar. And then Alinity talked that bullshit about PewDiePie, and then that's when people started to look at some of these female streamers, at least these thought streamers, I should say, a little closer. So they did some digging. L of the Day and It's a Gundam actually did videos on this, as well as a couple others that talked about that further, and that screwed her whole shit up. Come to find out, one of her mods, who was throwing her thousands and thousands of dollars a month, ended up rebelling and basically was like, you know what, I don't need you anymore. I'm going to go to ST Peach, which, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? She got asked for days. But he decided to go over there and jump over to her because he was like, oh, I didn't know you had a boyfriend, and I thought that I would go to TwitchCon, and I thought I'd have an opportunity. You know, maybe we could get drinks or whatever. That's what her fan base is basically represented. You know, that's what they consist of. That's what a lot of these girl streamers fan bases consist of. You know what I mean? So, in a lot of ways, that's just kind of what the internet is. But then again, that's still by choice. He chose to do that. He chose to throw his money at something that he knew was out of his range. You know what I mean? That guy chose to do that. He didn't have to. No one had a gun to his head telling him to hit that donation button or to pull his credit card out and swipe. He chose to do that. Now, who's at fault? You could say theoretically both, but at the end of the day, they both had a choice. She didn't have to lie and say that she was single when she wasn't, and dude didn't have to throw money at something that he knew he couldn't have. It is what it is. He paid for the fantasy of having that chance, not the reality. Just my opinion.
Care about this issue. I don't, I have no input. I obviously have never partook in any kind of a content of like that. I just don't care about that, But I know there are plenty of guys out there, right, that they just kind of fall in line with, oh,
I want to fuck her brains out.
There's a hot girl streamer, and I'm going to send her, big tips today, and I'm going to sub to the channel, I'm going to send her tons of money, and then she's going to give me my name on stream, and I'm going to feel, real proud as a man, or whatever. Listen, guys are always going to do that. You know what I mean? Guys are always going to do that. There's nothing you can do about that at all. But men will always fall for that trap, okay? For me, when I stream for you guys, I have to entertain you. I have to find a way to make you laugh, or through the quality of the gameplay, or the discussions that we have on stream. So I do feel that my content that I put out is a valid amount of entertainment that people feel like they want to reciprocate, right? But it takes effort.
Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. I'm being real honest with everyone. Just making an edited YouTube video is very easy. Doing live improv reactionary commentary is tough. The hard shit is sitting here playing the raw games. That's the hard part. Streaming is way harder than just editing videos for YouTube. Okay, it is. Real talk. Unbelievable. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work to keep this going. All the shit that I've been through over the years versus, I just happen to be a girl who's pretty, right? And so now I can just turn on a webcam and immediately guys just throw me money with zero effort. And obviously it's not even quality. It's just exploiting, right? It's exploitation. is the real word for it, I guess.
So, you know, it is what it is. I just kind of shrug my shoulders and say, you know, I have no comment. I don't even know, like I said, I don't watch other streamers, so I couldn't even name a single particular person to cite, but obviously we all know they're out there, and it is what it is, right? So, hey, it's all up to the individual. It's much like I say with game reviews and the like, too. It's up to the individual. If you're the kind of person who can't control yourself, and you have to rush out and buy a game on release day before you even know if the game's good, that's your own fault. It's a lack of self-control. It's the same thing here. If you're the kind of person...
You've done that too, though. You've done that plenty of times. I mean, you're Mr. New Releases anyway. So, I mean, you can't really cast stones at that. Just saying.
Who absolutely is going to go over to one of these streams because a cute girl has a webcam on, and you're going to toss her tons of money because you have no fucking self-control. I mean, that's how they make their living. If the bottom line is, if men had self-control, this wouldn't exist, right? So... it's kind of sad as being part of the male gender that I have to feel that we are, in a lot of ways, very weak when it comes to this kind of crap. But hey, it is what it is, I guess, right?
I am one of the most prolific people out there that does this than most other people on the planet Earth.
Hyper Bunny Lover cheered 25 bits and says the following. Phil, not to be an ass to you, but I remember you were complaining when you did your Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Challenge. That was a couple weeks ago, by the way. You were complaining on Twitter about the views on YouTube being low. Wouldn't that indicate regret in focusing on Twitch over YouTube and not intentionally wanting to lose views on YouTube to push Twitch? No. Absolutely not.
It should have, though. It certainly should have. Like I said, he should have done everything in balance, everything in moderation, but he couldn't. And there you go. Because he really thought that it would like his following on YouTube would translate to Twitch. Like, for example, if Twitch did this purge, I think I talked about this already, did this purge on to their website where all the dead accounts or bot accounts just got wiped away, clean and clear. If YouTube ever did that, I would be anxious to see what Phil's numbers really look like of active, well, maybe not active, because we already know it's like only like 3,000 or 5,000 people who are active on his channel at any given time. But how many of those dead channels will end up getting wiped off the board? I think he would still be in the 100,000 range, but the numbers would be way, way less. I'd put him at like 120 to 140,000, and that's me being generous. But just my opinion.
Regret there. That's not the right term. I guess the right term would be not even disappointment. What's the word? Not even resentment.
It's greed.
Resignation? I guess I'm at a point where I realize that no matter what I do on YouTube, that it's not going to be popular. Like, there's just not. It doesn't matter the quality of what I do. I could put out the highest quality video. I could conform to every YouTube popularity thing. Like, I could edit the video to only be highlights of the best stuff. I could put crazy thumbnails, catchy, attractive titles with clickbait shit all over it. I could do every possible thing. Make the best gameplay video you've ever seen on YouTube, and it won't get any popularity. And that has nothing to do with me as a content creator.
I know you're lying.
It has nothing to do with you guys. It has to do with the fact that YouTube itself, as a business, has made it impossible for people to get noticed anymore. It's just impossible. Unless you are already at the top, the algorithms and the things they put into place on their website have made it absolutely impossible. Because there is a large group of people out there who like fighting game content. And what I did was a unique event. There was rage, there was a challenge, it was fun, it was educational.
That was good. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Joke, joke. Rage, rage. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Joke, joke. Rage, rage.
Right? I had a ton of fun doing it. This is the kind of thing that if I had done it, 5 years ago, would have been insanely popular. People would have watched it and said, oh my god, this is comedy gold. This is what we wanted from Phil. And by the way, people on the stream actually pretty much enjoyed it. There were a few dead times when I was, coasting through games that weren't so hard. But for the most part, people really liked that event. All right? But yeah, it is frustrating to me when I work my butt off. I do this special event, put a lot of time and effort into promoting it, into actually doing it. I mean, I'm impressed myself being able to go through and play every single game in the collection and beat it on the hardest difficulty, including Alpha 3, where you only get one chance. Okay, I couldn't even continue. And doing it. And, it's an accomplishment. It's something I can say, wow, this is something that I did, some notch on my belt, something fun that I did, but it was also very challenging, right? And no one cares.
Ah, the salty tears. Salty, salty tears.
It's just like, it's because it's on YouTube, no one cares anymore. It's frustrating. You know, like I said, there was a time when I put no effort into the shit I did. I just played any fucking game, whatever, dicked around with it, put no effort into it, and it got virally popular.
I'm more about looking forward than looking back. You're living in the past. You need to move on. You guys may be living in the
That's true. But I think what happened is he took himself too seriously and he didn't take his content seriously enough. That might be another contributing factor to why Phil fell. Anyway, but seriously.
future. I'm in the past, baby.
Now I bust my ass, right? And no one on YouTube seems to care. That's really what it is. It's not, oh no, I'm so resentful that I'm focusing on Twitch content. No. Like I said, the times that I have with you guys here on stream far outweigh, in my opinion, the experiences that I was having on YouTube. Because whenever I was on YouTube solely, it was like a disconnect. I had no interactivity. I didn't get to see you guys live react to stuff. And it really did feel like a disconnect. Like I was by myself playing a game. There was no one watching me play. I was just fucking dicking around with the game, right? And then later on, when I uploaded the videos, I would read the comments. I would go to my forums and read your posts. I would go to Twitter. But now, because I get the live interactivity, all right? The live interactivity is so different. And we're to the point where I just love doing this more. I do. I love
Bunnies. Gimme.
doing what I do on Twitch way more. So even though, yeah, is it frustrating to me? Okay, is it frustrating to me that sadly, when I do something like a special event or I put a lot of effort and I put it on YouTube, no one watches or cares? Yeah, it's very frustrating. Admittedly, it pisses me off because there's no reason. It's not that there's no quality there. It's that YouTubers just don't watch shit anymore because of what YouTube did to their own business. They ruined it.
That's like me, right? That's like me.
It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
Wow.
No, see, John Cook, there's a difference. You can criticize the pre-stream, but if you just sit here and constantly everything that you're saying in the stream chat is 100% a complaint, the same thing over and over, that's when you're a negative element that doesn't need to be on the stream. There's a big difference. Oh, valid criticism. Man, this pre-stream went pretty long today. Okay, that's a valid criticism, not, oh, he's still talking? He's talking to himself. He loves to hear himself talk. He's just talking. Look, he's still going. How long has this been going? What the flip, man? Like, grow up or get out.
Bring your best! This world!
Look at that side-by-side comparison. Absolutely hilarious. I just now noticed it. Look at that comparison.
This world! Come on! Chaos Hammer will shove him up your ass. Gotta use the power to stop the motherfucking jackass. Stop the ignorance and the shit. You're gonna fuck so loud, it's gotta fucking quick. Alright.
What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil.
That was horrifying at the end. Oh my god, such a muppet. In any case, there you go. Sounds to me like a whole lot of regret. Sounds to me like someone who made a really, really bad decision and saw only the little bit of money that was, well, it was a lot of money, but he saw the money that was only in front of him and couldn't see past that. And now that all that money has been spent up, you know what I mean? All gone, now he has to go back and look and be like, shit, I fucked up. I really should have paid more attention. Because if you remember, during that moment, which was only like a month or so, month and a half maybe, when things were really, really looking good for him, he wasn't even talking about Patreon. Because Patreon was linked to YouTube. So, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't even talking about that. He was making his little $800, $900 off of it, but he really wasn't talking about it because he saw the thousands and thousands of dollars that he was getting over here. And like I said, it was going to dry up, and then watch. He's going to sit there and bitch and complain about why, YouTube sat there and fell up from under him because he didn't put the time and effort in. He did it to himself. What are you going to do? The life and times of a detractor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. a GTG Network and Productions. I am your host / anchor, GTG, and I am signing off. End of broadcast. I really have to find that whole that whole situation with him rocking out to that. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, that's just hilarious.